All right, welcome. My name is Belinda Esterhammer and I'm SaaStock's head of APAC. I am in Hong Kong right now and my guest right now today is Didier Elzinga. Welcome, Didier.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, and I get to eat dinner and do an interview. This is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Where are you dialing in today?
I am in Melbourne, Australia. So we've been in lockdown for 3 months and now finally had 18 days with no cases. So I'm very happy.
So what dim sum do you have right in front of you right now?
So I've grabbed a bit of an assortment. So I have the duck. I'm terrible with the different names. I've got the prawn. Is that the hagao?
Hagao, siu mai.
Yep. And then the shallot pancake. And I think this one looks like one of the minced chicken noodle dishes.
I think it's a drunken chicken. I also have some dim sum in front of me right now. I have some hagao with a twist. Yeah. Because I'm currently here at Man Mo Dim Sum, which is a dim sum restaurant in Hong Kong, a fusion dim sum. So they do French, Hong Kongese fusion dim sum.
Wow. Okay. I'm going there when I come to Hong Kong.
Dim sum aside, how are you doing? And yeah, how is CultureAmp?
I mean, it's just the year that just keeps on twisting and turning. I mean, at CultureAmp, we're very fortunate in that I think what everyone's realized is as everybody's gone home and everything's changed, people and culture matters even more than ever. And so companies are really having to lean into how do we create the experience that we want for our people? And that's what we do. Like we're an employee experience platform and we help people collect data anywhere in that experience, combine that data and then use that data to drive behavior change. So it's an amazing time to be working with customers, but it is also just a really tough world right now for a lot of people. And so it's, my head spins.
What's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Biggest risk? Probably leaving Rising Sun Pictures to start CultureAmp. I was the CEO of a Hollywood visual effects company, and then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I went and started a software company.
What's been the greatest challenge for this year?
I think just managing my own psychology. I mean, in many ways, I've been blessed. I'm very fortunate, haven't got sick, family's okay, we have enough space, the company's doing well, all these things. But it is a really tough time for people. It feels like Groundhog Day, things don't change. And yeah, I think we need to be kinder to ourselves.
If we think about positive things, what's the greatest achievement this year?
We just passed 3,000 customers. So that was a pretty big milestone in terms of just all of those people. Like our mission is to create a better world of work. And so to have all of those companies out there using our platform to drive their culture, that was a pretty special moment. This
year has been really hard on us all. What's one thing you really learned about yourself this year?
It has been hard. What have I learned about myself? I think that everybody burns out under enough pressure, and that we all burn out in different ways. And I think I've developed a bit more of an understanding of what it feels like to burn out for me. And I think in the past, I've been used to just trying to brute force through that. And now I've sort of seen the warning signs and realizing I have to back off when I start to burn out.
How do you actually relax and really wind down?
Once again, depends on the moment. Glass of wine can often be helpful. Coffee in the morning. For me, it's a mixture of music. So music is a big thing for me. I use music a lot as like emotional scaffolding to change how I feel. And then photography is something that if I ever have spare time that I like to do. And I also have practiced over the years Tai Chi and Bagwajan. So
we head back to CultureAmp. When you're hiring, what's the most important thing you want to know?
I always like, there was an Elon Musk question, which is, what is one thing that you believe in that most other people don't? So I always like to know where people are willing to push, what they're willing to change. Zoobs, come over here. I've got the classic Zoom background dog. Zoobs, zoom in, come on.
What would be your answer to this question?
We don't pay commission to salespeople.
In a sentence, what's your leadership philosophy?
Leaders create leaders.
Any tips for someone who's growing their team?
You always have to think about how do you translate what you're trying to do into opportunity for the people. So why is it important and valuable for each of the people in your team?
Do you have any tips for someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and also start their own company?
When people ask me that question, I always say don't, because it's going to be really painful and probably won't work. And then they're like, no, seriously? I'm like, no, don't. And then if they come back and say, no, I really want to do it. And I'm like, okay, if you're willing to spend 2 or 3 years working on it and have it fail, okay, maybe you should do it, because it's got to be something that matters to you so much that even if you don't succeed, you are happy to do it.
Thank you. Where do you see the future of work? Do you think it's remote, office-based, or it's a hybrid?
It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid. I think we've definitely learned that we can operate in ways that we didn't realize we could. But I also think we've forgotten or underestimated how powerful it is being in person with people again. And so I think as that becomes more available to people, people will come back to it too, but it won't look the same.
Thank you. If you wouldn't be in SaaS, what industry would you be in?
I would probably be doing sort of like Oculus Rift style virtual storytelling world.
What's the most exciting SaaS company right now?
I think what I get excited by is people that are going into a new space and just bringing capabilities. So there's a company called Dovetail here in Australia that is doing for user research, really helping people collect material around user research. And I think that's fantastic. Like, it's going to be amazing to see what they can do.
What's the difference between the SaaS market, like in Asia Pacific, compared to, say, the US or Europe?
I think the difference is there's less of us and we're working away in obscurity, but it means that when someone's successful, they tend to have built something really incredible.
Which entrepreneur do you look up the most?
Actually, one of the people that I get heavily inspired by is Yves Chapard, who is the founder of Patagonia. And I think the way he built a business that just upended the way people thought you could. People said you couldn't build a sustainable supply chain business, and he did.
And are you motivated most by legacy or life experience?
I think I'm on the fence, but if you have to push me, I'd probably tip just onto the legacy side. And the legacy that I want to leave is not just what we did and not just how many customers we helped or how big we were or what our valuation was, but could we build a culture-first company at scale? That's the legacy that I want to leave.
Thank you. All right, coming to an end, I'd like to know if you could pick anyone in the world, who else would you choose to have dim sum with?
Probably David Attenborough.
All right, then. Thank you so much for being part of this. And thank you so much for having dim sum with me.
Thank you. This is fantastic. Thank you so much.